Hey, what's going on? This is Aaron Price, the CEO of Tech United. Sorry if you were watching the previous live. We had some live streaming issues, but we're back in action. You missed a very good opener that we're going to redo. Chris, I have here a checkbook from Tech Council Ventures. It's a $55 million fund. Blank check. If I were to ask you, how much would it cost for you to walk backwards for a week? Where the only rule is you can't tell anyone you're being paid to walk backwards for a week. What would it cost for you to do that?
Still $1 million, $200,000 to pay for injuries that will most likely occur. And then $800,000 to reinvest in my business, play around with. And honestly, I think the PR that I'll get from it might just actually replicate more money and drive more traffic to my business. So $1 million.
I have more follow-up questions for you, but the reason I asked this question is because this is one of Mark Loray's favorite interview questions. He shared this with us at one of his at Speaking of Propelify. He's the founder of Jet, sold to Walmart, now the founder of the city of Tolosa, and also Wonder. For people who don't know him, pretty interesting billionaire entrepreneur at this point. But we are here to talk about. He's a Jersey guy. We are here to talk about finding your dream job, answering those unusual and challenging interview questions, and more with Chris Gannon, the founder of Captivate Talent. Chris, what is Captivate, and what do you guys do?
So Captivate Talent is a recruitment firm. We focus on placing revenue professionals at early to growth stage technology companies. So we'll come in, we'll place your VP of sales, your CRO, your head of marketing, and then we'll build out your go-to-market teams under that.
So today we're going to lean in on the talent side of the equation, how to find your dream job, how to obtain said dream job, maybe how to negotiate your way in the process. So let's start with, where do you find the most interesting jobs are discovered?
I think two places. So like one, LinkedIn's probably the main resource for finding jobs, connecting with people right now. The job search function, the amount of people that are on there, it's the king. They've monopolized the business social network, for better or for worse. Also your network. There was a huge surge in networking actually through COVID on things like Clubhouse. While Clubhouse probably isn't as popular anymore now that people can go out into the world, there were a lot of people that found jobs and were connected with people on there. And they might not have applied to something, but they were in the right room at the right time and they were able to pitch themselves.
Are you still on Clubhouse? You were a big Clubhouse fan when it first got hot.
I was, when I was locked up in my apartment in Weehawken, New Jersey, just hanging out. I was on Clubhouse quite a bit. I accidentally was on Clubhouse this morning. The notifications they send you hit by mistake, but it's about the only time I think I've been on in the last 6 or 7 months.
Interesting. So how much is finding a job? Once a job is hit LinkedIn, is it sort of too late, or might there still be plenty of opportunity, or is there still definitely plenty of opportunity for you to have a leg up?
Yeah, so when a job hits LinkedIn, that usually is a sign that there's definitely an opportunity. That means the person who was looking for that person already went, hopefully, if they did things right, already went through their internal network and had the conversations that they thought they could without having to go on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn usually is the help and cry for help that says, we need somebody here now, and we needed them probably a week or two ago.
If someone is interested in a new role, but they don't want their current employer to be aware of it, what do you recommend are some of the steps that they could take, and how could they make themselves discoverable to someone like you?
Yeah, so LinkedIn has a few features. There's an open to work feature, and it's not that badge that you see on people's profile picture. I don't necessarily recommend that, especially if you're currently employed and you don't want your employer to know. But there is an open to work feature that allows recruiters who have LinkedIn recruiter accounts to know that you're looking for a new job. And people at your own company, even if they have a recruiter account, LinkedIn blocks that from them, so they can't see it. What I also recommend is applying for jobs is good, but it's not the most proactive thing. You might think applying for a job is proactive, but it's kind of reactive. You see a post up there, you apply to it, you hope who's ever on the other end answers it or sees it. And we don't always know who's on the other end of that job application. What I do recommend is you apply for that job, but then you also reach out to the hiring manager. And the hiring manager is sometimes very different than the person who has posted that job. So the person who posted the job might be staff level recruiter. Maybe they started on the job 2 weeks ago. They might not know exactly what they're looking for. And they might also have, companies are hiring like crazy right now. They might have 1,000 job requirements or openings on their desk from the various managers at their company. So what I recommend you do is, hey, you're looking for a sales job. All right, who needs that job filled tomorrow? Probably the VP of sales. So find out who they are on LinkedIn and reach out to them directly. Send them a little video message. Tell them that you're interested in the job and that you'd like to apply. They'll probably streamline you a lot faster than if you went through the normal internal recruiting methods.
By the way, you a small but important point there. Do you think a video message is the way to go over a text note?
If you're in sales, especially if you're looking to transition into tech sales, maybe you're in a more an adjacent industry like real estate or hospitality, you probably want to show these hiring managers that you are used to using the types of tools that they are probably using when they are prospecting their own clients.
So let's say they get an interview. How do you recommend to a candidate to prepare?
Get your elevator pitch down is the first thing. And you have to think of like what the term elevator pitch means. I know a lot of people don't commute, especially into the city these days, but if you got on the first floor of the Chrysler building and you hit 50 or whatever it might be, and you ride up, can you give your whole pitch in that time? If you can't, your elevator pitch is too long. So you have to think of, how do I get my highlight reel out in under a minute? Because if it's over a minute, you're going to lose somebody's attention. And that was something we learned back in the clubhouse days very quickly. If people would get on these open forums and they'd talk about themselves for 5 minutes, and by the end, nobody knew what they were looking for, what they wanted, or what they did anymore.
Yeah. What do you practice that with candidates to make sure that they're buttoned up?
Yeah, what I recommend is that you put yourself on video. You ask a friend, a colleague, a mentor, maybe a recruiter that you're working with to get on with you, and then you start a timer. You get your phone out, you put it in front of you, and you hit start, and you start your elevator pitch. If you're getting close to that minute and you haven't asked for like what you're looking for or what your next step is or what you desire in your next job, you're probably going to lose somebody's attention.
Yeah, getting to that point, what should be in this pitch, and when in the interview should you jump into it?
When somebody asks what you're looking for, tell us a little bit about yourself. That's usually kind of the broad first question. Like, yeah, give us a little summary of who you are and what you've done. It should be, what you've done, where you currently work, maybe your past job is, some highlights that you've accomplished there, and what you're looking for in your next step. Yeah. And that last part's very, very important.
What kinds of things do you find are good answers or authentic? Maybe, I'm sure it's a different answer for everyone, but in what you're looking for your next step, where do you see people make some missteps in this interview process?
Yeah, so we help prep our candidates when we ask them a question like that. So when we interview candidates for the first time, we ask them in the middle of their interview, outside of money and benefits, what are 3 really important things for you in your next job? And that makes them pause and think. And those 3 things are usually what somebody really desires in their next step versus just like a salary increase or bonus or maybe better health benefits or something like that. Those things are very, very important, but what's the next layer and what's going to keep you at a job longer than maybe just for a salary bump?
So the interview goes half decent. You're waiting, you as the candidate, I'm saying in this scenario. Yep. What should their next step be?
I sent a really good thank you and follow-up. And I truly believe that sending thank you emails and follow-ups shows that you're interested and engaged as an employee and a future employee. Even though it's a candidate-driven job market right now where there's more jobs open than there are people available, I think it's still not only common courtesy to send a follow-up, but it just keeps the chain and the flow of things going throughout the interview process. On the flip side, I think hiring managers should also respond to thank yous and follow-ups.
And then if it goes dark for a few days or a week or longer, do you recommend continued follow-ups?
I recommend after 3 or 4 days, you ping them again just in case something got lost in the shuffle. Hopefully it doesn't, especially if hiring is the #1 priority for people. After that, You should probably cut ties and use it as an indicator of either A, they were just really rude and that's their way of saying they don't like you, or B, it's a reflection of how they operate internally and maybe it's not the best place for you to go work.
Yeah. We are short on time for this live, but I think there were a lot of nuggets of wisdom here. I'm going to throw back a question at you that I've heard you suggest to me. If you could act out a color, what's your favorite color and act it out? Is that the question?
You can't steal my question. That's my question. I should ask that one to you. What's your favorite color, Aaron? And can you act it out?
What's my favorite color?
Awesome.
I like green.
Yep.
I don't know how to act out green. Oh, I'm solo for this one. So I don't have anything good to share for acting out green. So tune in next time where I figure out how the hell I'm going to act out what green means.
We'll catch up again because there's a lot more we can throw out here and throw out some of those interview questions too.
Disappointing viewers around the world with my lack of green acting abilities. Chris, good to see you. We'll go with the high five. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Congratulations on your
Take
upcoming
care,
wedding.
We'll
Talk to you soon.